Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have this article here. It's about Japan. You know, Japan is one of our strong areas, strong points. They made it very clear. A lot of financial institutions within Japan, as well as SBI Remit, and all of their businesses that are running in Japan, that they want to use XRP. That's from them. They said it themselves. They're a big supporter of the XRP-based systems. So we have this news coming out here, and it says this. The Bank of Japan held its first official meeting with the country's government to discuss a central bank digital currency, which is it's so interesting how these things work out. Let's keep going. According to the local TV channel NHK, that's funny because there was a really good classic anime called Welcome to the NHK, which if you're into anime or anything like that, oh my man, that was a classic. It was very good, but it was also very sad, very realistic. But anyway, it just made me think about that when I heard NHK. It says here, on January 26th, the government and the BOJ agreed to resolve the legal issues related to issuing digital yen in the spring of 2024. So they're in a rush. They're putting the pedal to the metal on this. It says the report mentioned that neither the BOJ nor the government have officially confirmed the launch of the digital yen. Any decision will be taken after, quote, a national discussion, unquote, no sooner. Wait, whoa. Just when I was getting excited, it says no sooner than 2026. I don't believe that. I don't believe it's going to take that long. There's no way. All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Things change, right? Things are not concrete. I'm trying to absorb all of this. It says BOJ agreed to resolve the issues related to issuing a digital yen in the spring of 2024. So that's just the issues that they're trying to work out by that time. But their decision to launch the digital yen no sooner than 2026. I don't believe that. I know it's 2 years away, but it seems like forever, in my humble opinion. Let's keep going. In December 2023, the BOJ received a report from an expert panel in the Ministry of Finance recommending issuing a digital yen without delay, quote unquote. Okay, see. So there's conflict here. Okay, now I feel a little bit better, right? Listen, I want these things to happen now, honestly. I'm ready to be done with this journey. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for that generational wealth to come in. You know, we'll see how it works out. There's no guarantees in anything, but I'm ready. Beyond ready. The report stated that the CBDC should coexist with cash. I don't understand why that's still an argument. Across the globe, I think that's consensus. Cash isn't going anywhere, and nor should the people want paper tender to go anywhere or something physical. The people, in my humble opinion, you could disagree, should always want something physical, because without that, you don't have control over that particular thing. A lot could be said there. I know there could be some debate with that because of, crypto and keys and all that type of thing like that. But I'm telling you, something physical in your hand, in a safe, wherever you keep it, it's the best thing possible, in my humble opinion. It says here to always have. You don't have to use that, but to have that option, I think is powerful. It says, and the BOJ must minimize personal data storage. All right, so things are looking progressive and looking good in Japan, since BOJ concluded the second phase of CBDC testing in May 2023. So listen, if they run XRP, XRPL-based systems, and it doesn't mean, I'm not saying that their CBDC will directly be based on XRP. I'm not saying that, but all the other systems, the interoperability, all these other institutions possibly using XRPL based systems, that money's going to flow into them. So what difference does it make, right? It doesn't make any difference. All we need is a high amount of transaction value and volume flowing into the XRPL. That's all we need. Now, one thing that people should keep in mind is that Japan, like many other places is in a very harsh financial circumstance. Like, their financial system is doing terrible. I've covered that a lot over the last 2 years, showed you multiples of articles. So they need, once again, we get to this point, they need the new financial system. A lot of these places need the new financial system because, listen, what goes up comes down. That's it. People don't want to accept it. Everything has its seasons. Everything has its cycle. You reach a peak and then it's downward from there. You don't just keep going up forever. It doesn't work that way. Growth doesn't work that way. It doesn't. In order to grow, you got to fall down a couple of times. You got to make a couple of mistakes. And those mistakes show you what you need to improve, what you need to learn. And then from there, you grow. That's why. So the financial systems of the world, no matter how brilliant people may think that they are or have been, no matter how used to those systems that people may be, I perceive that they've already reached a peak. And they've been on a downward trajectory for quite some time. And I think a lot of these systems are burning to the ground. That's what we're witnessing. That's what we're living through. That's just my humble opinion. And I think you're going to see things get worse. I think it's already getting worse. It's just the people. I don't know. Some people are acknowledging that. They see what's happening. People can't even afford apartments anymore, let alone homes. People living in vans, all types of stuff is happening globally that people are very dissatisfied with the way the systems have been run. That's a decline. That's what I'm observing. So now out of that decline, okay, I have to estimate what comes out of that decline. What's the winner coming out of that? How do we, it's not really about profit. How do we thrive through it, right? There's always a clear pathway. Well, I won't say the clear pathway. There's always a pathway, but you have to have the vision to see what that pathway is to be able to benefit yourself. I believe that some of these utility coins, the interoperability coins, the liquidity tokens, bank coins, I think that they're going to be major winners into the future, right? What the future is, you have to decide that for yourself. Now, let's move on here. This is an interesting one that part of it is very interesting. And part of it I'll disagree with a little bit, right? Just a little bit, but I understand the possibilities. This article is titled Crypto Exchange Predicts 1000x returns on XRP price with ambitious rise to $594. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds great. That's the part I like. That's the part I enjoy. But they have a timeline here that I disagree with. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not a all-knowing being. I don't have a crystal ball. I like that $594, but let's skip right to this part here. It says, when will XRP price rise to $594? I consider this a little bit of FUD, or a lot of FUD, if you will. It says Chainlink, that's the exchange, predicts that XRP will rise to $594 in 2050. 2050. Now, let me ask you this. Do you agree with that? Let me just ask you outright. But then let me paint a picture. The only things holding XRP back and XLM back and Algorand, all the bank coins really, is just this regulatory environment, which we're going to be seeing some sort of results, hopefully positive, from the SEC versus Ripple case. This spring it begins, right? The ending begins in this spring. Now, if that's not in the way and XRP begins to be used by a good amount of financial institutions for the purpose that it is set to serve, what's holding it back from skyrocketing? I'm not saying $594. I'll take it if it goes there. But what's stopping it from skyrocketing? I don't see anything stopping it. If we get any type of real clarity, I'm talking about institutional clarity, for institutional use, what's stopping XRP from skyrocketing? Nothing. We have the respect. We have a lot of partnerships. We have a lot of connections, powerful connections. There's nothing. If we ever achieve in the next year or two the global clarity that the Bank for International Settlements has been calling for, what's stopping XRP from skyrocketing? And there is no one, I don't care who they are, there is no one who knows how high it can go. So they can try to put a cap on how high XRP can go so they can play it safe. Right? That sounds good. Like, you play it safe so that way later on you don't have to have too many people coming against you saying, oh, you said this high price. That's okay. That's cool. But yet and still, the truth is no one knows how high it can go. You can't put a cap on something that seemingly has no cap. It's all about how much money flows into it. Period. And if those banks are using XRP for interbank payments at some point, I mean, why would it take that long for it to go extremely high? I just don't see it. If we can get past this institutional clarity phase, right? The SEC versus Ripple institutional use, the bank saying, hey, we need absolute clarity first before we begin utilizing these systems to their fullness. I'm talking about in the United States, because the United States leads the way. If we achieve that, I don't see why XRP wouldn't skyrocket within a year or two of that happening. You know, I won't say it'll happen all at once. It'll happen in waves. Boom, 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 boom. You know, higher and higher, little by little is what I perceive. But that's the only thing standing in its way. I don't understand why they would say 2050 makes absolutely no sense to me. Gary Gensler, the current regime, like there's a big chance for a regime change coming up very soon. So minds can change, policy can change. The outlooks on what is good for regulations can change. Why would it take that long? See, they're ruling out possibilities. I don't do that. I consider the positive. I consider the negative. I'm trying to look at both sides here, but I just see that the positive is much greater of a possibility than the negative. I don't believe this. I don't agree with that. Now it's skyrocketing pretty high. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It says here, meanwhile, $512 to $540 are predicted as what will be the minimum in average prices for XRP during that same time frame. Yeah, I disagree on the time frame. We'll see what happens. I think, and you've heard Ripple talking about going outside of the U.S. Very frequently the last month or two. Now, if you remember, I floated the idea of them flipping the switch outside the U.S. I think that they should. Why wait on the U.S.? I understand that side, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. You can flip the switch with Hong Kong right now. You can flip the switch, I believe, with Japan in the next year or two, right? Because they're working things out. We just read that article about that. I believe you have clarity rolling out in Europe this year with MiCA legislation. Flip the switch there. You flip the switch when it comes to the MENA region. Flip the switch when it comes to Australia. Flip the switch in Latin America. Flip the switch everywhere, everywhere. Get it started. Force their hand. You can force their hand. And so Ripple has been saying, talking a lot about, beginning things outside the U.S., although they haven't pulled the trigger all the way on that. It's interesting to hear that verbiage coming from them, because I think that they're starting to come to that conclusion as well, that they may need to flip the switch outside the United States. I think what they're waiting on is to see what happens this year. I think they're waiting to see what happens with the whole SEC case, because they want to keep in good graces with their U.S. partners. The U.S. partners are very, very touchy. So they want to be, if anybody's going to be the big winners, they want to be the big winners, because they will be in early. Anything with XRP. Anybody acquiring XRP, in my humble opinion, it's not financial advice. Anybody acquiring XRP under $1 is in super early, in my humble opinion. They know that. The banks know that. Institutions know that. Whoever loves XRP, they know that. So I just don't see. I think that they wouldn't want that flip of the switch moment to occur without them, because they want their early take. They want their take. I think that's why a lot of things have been held back. But okay, let's move on to this next article here. We have a little bit of an XLM related article, So Stellar has for a few times in 2023, I think it goes back and forth. They were the blockchain with the biggest amount of tokenized assets on chain, right? So we have that. Now you have this article here that was released about Wisdom Tree. And this is very interesting if you put both of them together, and we have that understanding that everything will be tokenized on chain at some point, right? It says here, Wisdom Tree Incorporated, a global financial innovator, today announced its total assets under management crossed $100 billion, driven by 12 consecutive quarters of net inflows and best-in-class 16% annualized organic growth relative to its publicly traded asset manager peers. Okay, well, let me read this next sentence here. It says, the milestone celebrates a 17-year journey and highlights Wisdom Tree's well-diversified global suite of exchange-traded products, ETPs, models, and solutions, including record U.S. assets under management of $72.8 billion US, and Wisdom Tree models now available to over 65,000 financial advisors nationwide. All right, so now think of that for a minute. So you have $100 billion in assets under management, all of which can be tokenized at some point in the future. You have all the top minds saying that everything will be tokenized at some point, right? And you have Wisdom Tree utilizing Stellar for their Wisdom Tree Prime app. I mean, this has a lot of potential. There's no guarantee, but this has a lot of potential if they decide to utilize Stellar, which they already are, but for that amount of assets to be tokenized and held on chain at some point, or flowing across chain, or used on some kind of app, or in any possible way that touches Stellar, that will make a massive, massive difference. So, you know, I like to keep my eye on Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton, United Nations, World Economic Forum, CC Bank, you know, the Ukraine banks. I like to keep my eye on all these different things. Even sometimes I go back sometimes and I keep my eye on what's going on in Brazil, because Stellar had a lot of good relationships in Brazil. If you remember when Stellar was trying to help them with their central bank digital currency. Now, they didn't win that contest, but they definitely lent a lot of their thoughts and expertise in making all of that happen. So, you know, I try to keep my eye on what's going on down there in Latin America, especially Africa as well, with Stellar. Stellar has a lot of things going on, you know. So if you want to put that on your table here, let's move on to another article here. OK, so this article here is titled XRP News Coinbase Victory Could End SEC Plans to Appeal XRP Ruling. A lot of things are connected. All right, so let's scroll down here. And it says, investors, it says SEC versus Coinbase motion to dismiss ruling pivotal for the crypto market. Investors also await the court ruling on the Coinbase motion to dismiss. Coinbase filed a motion to dismiss in August, arguing the SEC lacks statutory authority to regulate crypto exchanges. I agree. If Judge Catherine Fila grants the motion to dismiss, the ruling could force the SEC to end its reign of regulation by enforcement. Judge Fila heard oral arguments for and against the motion to dismiss on January 17th. On Monday, amicus curiae attorney John E. Deaton considered the SEC versus Coinbase, saying, quote, in 2021, Gary Gensler testified the exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken fell outside the jurisdictional purview of the SEC and the CFTC. In fact, in April 2021, the SEC made a determination that it was in the public's best interest to grant acceleration for a Coinbase IPO. 2 years later, acting as a political operative, Gensler changed his mind and declared Coinbase's entire business model illegal and in violation of U.S. securities law, unquote, which obviously to me shows that, in my humble opinion, Gary Gensler is the one who is engaging in very unsavory activities. I'll just say it like that. As background, the SEC filed charges against Coinbase that we know the outcome of the SEC versus Coinbase case could dictate the direction of the SEC versus Ripple case. A Coinbase victory could end SEC's plans to appeal the programmatic sales of XRP ruling. In July 2023, Judge Torres ruled that programmatic sales of XRP do not satisfy the third prong of the Howey test. Already, we know that already. XRP has clarity. So now that could be huge. So let's keep our eye on the Coinbase case, and let's hope everything continues to go well. Right now, crypto, and I believe this humbly, even though a lot of people are not going to take me up on this, but I believe crypto needs to stick together. There's no need to fight each other when you have the regulators fighting everybody, the governments fighting everybody to an extent, through the regulators. People should stick together, try to win, because really crypto as a whole needs to win together. But let's move on here. Just my humble thoughts. It says here. So now we have this article here. OK, it says it's titled XRP Ledger Not Falling Apart. Network records over 600 nodes. 600. All right. Sounds good to me. It says the XRP Ledger remains fully operational with strong validator participation despite ongoing issues. I mean, I don't know what issues are going on. You let me know if there's something I don't know of. I don't proclaim to know everything. I don't. The most I heard was one individual said something that was a part of, I think, the XRP Ledger Foundation. One individual said something that some people took as a little bit controversial as far as how the chain should operate. I didn't see any big deal. One person doesn't shake the whole chain, doesn't move the whole chain. But like I said, maybe there's something I don't know about. It says here, the XRP community has been in the middle of a hot debate that has led to the decommissioning of some nodes. Is that factual? Is that a fact? I don't know. Where's the evidence? I'm just asking. Let's continue on. It says at the heart of the, because I keep hearing that, but I don't see where that information is coming from. And I don't just take things just because I read it and say, okay, this is 100% the truth. No, I was taught to question everything. I was taught by my father to question everything. And I take his word as law. It's served me well throughout my life. But let's keep going. It says, at the heart of the contention is a proposal that seeks to restructure the member and governance procedure at the XRPL Foundation. A proposal. So who cares? It's a proposal. OK, so the people can either vote against it, right? Or vote for it. So if all the people feel like this should not be, vote against it. And the community let it be known. But why would all of a sudden that a proposal lead to decommissioning of nodes? Am I viewing this wrong? I don't think I am. But it says, however, the proposal has not gone down well. It's a proposal. It says the proposal has not gone down well with some infrastructure providers in the ecosystem, some of whom see it as a takeover attempt by Ripple. By Ripple? Nonetheless, this remains speculative. If you're writing an article like this, you have to give me more information. I need to know more. How is Ripple related to this? It says, amid the debate, the XRPL ledger remains strong despite the issues, according to on-chain data. Precisely, there are 629 nodes active on the network, with the number of validators currently hovering around 132. All right, so it looks and seems to be very healthy, according to what you're providing. Notably, the majority of validators are running the latest Ripple software version. Let's scroll down. They even have a chart. It says, moving beyond validators, the network has seen nearly 2,500 XRP accounts created in the past 2 days. So it looks like everything's going well. At the same time, the network has recorded over 1.4 million successful transactions. All right. I guess we'll hear more about this. I'll learn more. I'll look deeper into this. The continued seamless operation of the XRP ledger in the wake of the community debate evidently underlines that a majority of validators are still committed to the future of the network. Additionally, it may suggest that the vast validator community does not consider the controversial governance proposal a serious issue at this time. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if nothing changed, somebody can say anything. They can propose whatever they want. Just vote it down. Like, what's the problem? Meanwhile, the XRPL continues to witness a number of remarkable technical advances. Okay, so far, everything seems to be going well. We'll try to stay up to date on this as well. Okay, so now let's move on here. A little bit of Chainlink news. I love what Chainlink is doing. I'm very bullish on Chainlink. This article is titled, "Large Chainlink Whales Accumulate 57 Million Link Worth $855 million in 30 days. This does not surprise me. Chainlink has an extremely bright future. They continue to put out very bullish information and statements almost every other day. Just keep up with them. You'll see. It says, Into the Block, a prominent on-chain data provider, spotlighted this impressive metric in a post on X today. This accumulation campaign prevailed despite the market turbulence that saw Chainlink lose some of the gains picked up in the late 2023 rally. Well, a lot of individuals, including myself, believe in the future Chainlink is going to go much higher. So, I mean, accumulating during this month's time, and there's been a lot of volatility. A lot of times that volatility is bringing prices down. That's what was happening. So, I mean, doesn't it make sense for them to acquire more Chainlink when they believe that it's at a low price? And I'd say rather it's at a price where you can still make some very good gains into the future if those individuals acquired Chainlink during this time period. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's just logical. It says data from the Chainlink large holders net flows chart from Into the Block reveals an interesting pattern in correlation with Link's price action. It says, notably, the first 2 days of January saw a massive buying spree from these addresses as they added over 4 million Link daily to their balances. At the time, Link maintained the $15 price level as the bullish momentum from the previous year spilled into the new year. However, on January 3rd came with some market turbulence, resulting in Chainlink dipping below $15, $14, and $13 psychological levels. That's what I'm talking about. So it was the perfect time to accumulate, right? Before Bitcoin starts really revving up and taking off, and then the prices of everything will go up and get more expensive. Actually, everything, a lot of stuff was on discount that could go higher, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. But Quant was on discount, right? Solana went down. That was on discount. These are ones that I think are going to explode in the future. Chainlink. I'm trying to think of any other ones. LCX has just been doing very well, like just consistently, no matter what's going on. It's just, it consolidated well. And it's just gone up over the last like few weeks. Not a great deal, but it's a great deal when it comes to LCX, if you've been watching this price action. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. That's the ones I can remember. So now moving on here, we have another region that is extremely powerful when it comes to XRP, Ripple, and Ripple. Also, Hedera is in this region as well. Hedera HBAR is in this region heavily. I believe they built some infrastructures over here. And I believe also Quant has some dealings in the MENA region. But right here, this article is about the UAE. I'm keeping my eye on all these things because they're all the new financial system together. All right. It says UAE makes first digital dirham transfer via Mbridge CBDC platform. Remember, we were hearing about Mbridge? The Mbridge platform is a multinational collaborative effort using CBDCs for cross-border transactions. The Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates conducted its first cross-border digital dirham transfer using the Mbridge Central Bank digital currency platform on January 29th. So things are moving forward. The 50 million dirhams cross-border CBDC transfer was sent to China using the multi-CBDC Mbridge platform, according to Gulf News. You see, look, things like this. This is how they're going to be getting around, and they're showing you now, getting around utilizing any type of SWIFT system. They're showing the people, you know, even if they have a bunch of siloed programs running, they can just use other DLTs, let's say like Quant or Flare, Chainlink. I don't know if they will work with them, but I'm just giving examples of interoperability platforms. You can use something like the XRPL for interoperability, but I think you have to more use that as like a network, and you have to have a private ecosystem. Stellar, same thing, right? Because they want to keep like Ripple and Stellar, some of those other companies, even I think maybe Chainlink to a degree because they work with Swift. I think they want to keep good relationships with their US partners. So I don't know if they would directly be involved. So I would look at other chains that are more neutral to be utilized to connect things together. You know, I mean, Ripple, I'm on the fence about because they've had such a hard time in the US. I mean, I think they're capable of anything right now, especially if you look at some of the entities that they have been trying to work with. So that's interesting right there. This is the chairman of the board of the Central Bank of the UAE. Sheikh Mansour conducted the CBDC transfer on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee celebration of the establishment of the central bank. Project Mbridge was introduced in 2021 by the central bank monetary authorities of China and Hong Kong, Thailand, and the UAE in partnership with the Bank for International Settlements, who's been working with Stellar consistently with their green bond, who's been working with Quant consistently, especially with the Bank of England on their projects. You can look all of this up. So that's very interesting there. They have worked with Ripple before as well, but I don't know if they have anything going on right now as of now. It says it is the only international collaborative partnership that involves China. The project completed its first pilot in September 2022. So, and they have a list here, a very nice list of all the different banks. Look at some of these banks like HSBC. That's one of our banks there. Bank of China, that's another one that works with some of the bank coins, all right, that we've seen. Standard Charter, another one that works with some of the bank coins. It's getting interesting, isn't it? All right. So now let's move on here. All right. We made it to the last article. I'm very happy with that. All right. I hope you all had a fantastic day. Yesterday's video was a little bit different because I had to address some things. I think you could tell by the way that the video was made. All right. So once in a while, you have to do that. You have to address things and set the record straight. All right. It says here, Bitcoin surges to $43,000 as ETF inflows outpace sell pressure. Early trading data from Bloomberg revealed that iShares Bitcoin Trust had surpassed GBTC in trading volume, indicating a resurgence in investor confidence. Yeah. It says Bitcoin has made a striking recovery, climbing above the $43,000 mark on January 29th. As market dynamics hint at a resurgence in investor confidence. The leading cryptocurrency experienced this surge amidst a landscape where exchange-traded fund inflows show signs of strength, particularly as they begin to outweigh outflows from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. All right, so things were looking good a little bit better earlier. I did see that. I hope they continue. I really do. And I really want this bull run to happen quickly, but I understand it could take a little bit of time because of how ETFs work. The Bitcoin halving is coming up in a little bit of time. There's a lot of good catalysts, but I can't wait for this next bull run. I can't. It's going to be an exciting time, and I think I'm going to be excited more than most. I really do. So I look forward to that time where Bitcoin is just roaring, altcoins are roaring, and we all can have a little bit of fun, and then we all can see those coins shine that we always believed we're supposed to shine. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I'm about to go ahead and make this next members only video. So I'll see some of you over there. And until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.